Imagine a world where the most intense period of learning, the very foundation of who we become, is almost entirely absent from our screens. That's the challenge little Amélie, or the character of Rain, bravely tackles, capturing the magic, mystery, and yes, even the terror of early childhood. But here's where it gets controversial. Can a film truly represent the complex inner world of a child? Some might say it's an impossible feat, while others might argue that animation offers a unique window into this often forgotten realm. Scientists overwhelmingly agree that the human brain undergoes its most rapid development between birth and the age of 5. It's a period of unparalleled growth, where connections are forged at an astonishing rate. Yet, cinema often struggles to portray this crucial phase of life authentically. While films like Look Who's Talking and The Boss Baby have attempted to capture the joys and chaos of infancy and toddlerhood, and have even had some success, they often fall short of truly channeling the sense of wonder, the underlying mysteries, and the very real fears that define this age. They often focus on humor derived from baby antics or adult perspectives projected onto children, rather than genuinely exploring a child's unique way of experiencing the world. Enter Little Amélie, or the character of Rain, Amélie et la métaphysique des tubes, a charming animated feature from France that places these very feelings front and center. This isn't just a story. It's an immersive experience that prioritizes sensations over a traditional narrative. The film plunges viewers directly into the consciousness of a young child as she awakens to the world around her for the first time. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about seeing the world through a child's eyes, but feeling it with their senses, their raw emotions, and their unfiltered perceptions. The film introduces the unique twist. The child in question, Amélie, is a Belgian girl growing up in rural Japan during the 1960s. This setting is more than just a backdrop. It's a character in itself. The Japanese countryside is depicted as a place brimming with countless natural wonders, a feast for a child's developing senses. But it's also a land still marked by the invisible scars of a major war, a history that subtly permeates Amélie's innocent world. This juxtaposition of beauty and underlying trauma adds a layer of depth and complexity that elevates the film beyond a simple children's story. Little Amélie, or the character of Rain, the bottom line. A visually stunning and thoughtful animated film that tackles profound themes with a delicate touch. Release date, Friday, November 7th. Cast, Loïs Charpentier, Victoria Grosbois, Yumi Fujimori, Kathy Serda, Mark Arnaud, Letitia Corin. Directors, Melis Falad, Lian Chauhan. Screenwriters, Lian Chauhan, Aude Pai, Melis Falad, Edine Noel. Based on the novel by Amélie Nothomb. Rated PG. 1 hour, 17 minutes. Adapted from Amélie Nothomb's autobiographical novel, Fear and Trembling. The film at times evokes a unique blend of styles. Imagine Terrence Malick's poetic visual style meeting the whimsical imagination of Hayao Miyazaki, all tailored for a young audience. The result is a film that combines playful subjectivity with surreal, dreamlike sequences. Yet, despite its artistic flourishes, the film maintains a clear narrative thread that's simple enough for children to follow. It tells the story of how Amélie, the titular heroine, literally breaks free from her isolated world to discover both the joys and the potential dangers of real life. Early in the film, a doctor delivers a stark assessment. "Your child is a vegetable," he tells Amélie's parents. At 2 years old, Amélie, voiced by Loïs Charpentier, is largely unresponsive, observing the world silently from her bouncy chair in their remote country home, nestled in the picturesque forests of Kobe, Japan. However, 2 significant events act as catalysts, jolting her out of her passive state. The first is an earthquake that sends tremors through the house, disrupting her familiar surroundings. The second is the arrival of Amélie's grandmother, Kathy Serda, from Brussels, bearing the ultimate childhood treasure, authentic white Belgian chocolate, straight from Belgium. These two contrasting experiences, a destructive force of nature and an act of pure, unadulterated joy, unlock something within Amélie. She suddenly blossoms, displaying a remarkable gift for language and keen observation skills. She becomes not only her grandmother's beloved companion, but also a cherished friend to her Japanese nanny, Nishio-san, Victoria Grosbois, with whom she spends the majority of her time. The only shadow in Amélie's idyllic new life is an elderly landlady, Yumi Fujimori, who haunts the property like a spectral figure from a Kenji Mizoguchi film, instilling fear in Amélie whenever she ventures too far into the surrounding natural landscape. Melis Valade and Lian Cho-han making their feature directorial debut after contributing to acclaimed French animation projects like The Little Prince, The Illusionist, and I Lost My Body, employ a vibrant and expressive color palette, eschewing rigid lines between shades. The overall effect is reminiscent of a watercolor painting or a traditional Japanese print brought to life, rather than a conventional children's cartoon. This artistic choice emphasizes the sense of wonder and discovery that Amélie experiences as she explores the world outside her home. One particularly memorable sequence depicts the family attending an annual festival where carp-shaped windsocks fill the sky and schools of carp voraciously devour bread in the sea. Another poignant scene shows Nishio-san taking Amélie to a Day of the Dead ritual, where hundreds of glowing lanterns are released into a river, symbolizing the passage of souls. Death, in fact, seems to linger around Amélie's burgeoning life as much as vitality. After witnessing her father, Marc Arnaud, overcome with grief, she learns of her grandmother's passing back in Belgium, forcing her to confront the concept of permanent loss for the first time. Through both Nishio-san and the foreboding landlady, she also becomes aware of the devastating impact of the Second World War, a tragedy that continues to cast a shadow over the lives of the local Japanese community, some of whom, controversially, attribute blame to Europeans like Amélie. This is undoubtedly heavy subject matter for a young child to process, and the filmmakers don't always succeed in making these weighty themes as light and easily digestible as, say, a Pixar film might. Instead, they lean towards a more grounded realism, drawing inspiration from manga adaptations like the Hiroshima Chronicle in this corner of the world, which they explicitly reference in their press materials. However, Little Amélie ultimately maintains a more optimistic and uplifting tone. The film enjoyed modest success in its domestic release, attracting over 200,000 viewers after premiering at Cannes and competing at Annecy. Similar to its French counterpart, Arco, Little Amélie achieves a delicate balance between the fantastical world of childhood and the often harsh realities of adulthood, between the boundless power of imagination and a more pessimistic view of the world as it truly is. Both films demonstrate that France remains a fertile ground for innovative animated features, with all three directors hailing from Paris's prestigious Gobelins Visual Arts School, and that children can be a profound source of creative inspiration if we simply listen to them and take their perspectives seriously. So what do you think? Does Little Amélie succeed in capturing the essence of early childhood, or is it an impossible task? Can animation truly bridge the gap between the adult world and the inner world of a child? And perhaps more controversially, is it appropriate to expose young children to complex and potentially disturbing themes like war and death in a film like this? Share your thoughts and let's discuss.